Welcome to the Trustbound Podcast. Hello. It's me again with another Trustbound Breakdown. There's one thing from my conversation with Rick that I have not been able to let go of all week. And it's one sentence. He said, the person making the referral is the greatest beneficiary. And if you remember our principles, you know exactly which one that is. Don't worry, you don't have to remember. I'm going to tell you anyway. This episode is anchored in principle 4, the referrer's advantage. But it also hits principle 1, which is trust before transaction. It hit it hard. And brings in principle 5, which is signal over noise, and even principle 6, which is packs over pipelines. Let me break it down. Rick's core teaching is deceptively simple. When you refer someone, you're not doing them a favor. You're elevating yourself. In the eyes of the person you helped, you go from friend to resource. You become the person who made something happen. And that reputation, that social capital, compounds every single time. Think about Guillermo from the Tomas breakdown. When Memo connected me to Tomas, he didn't just help us. He became more valuable to both of us. Now we both see him as someone with real judgment, someone who puts his name on connections that work. That's principle 4, playing out in real life. Rick used the analogy of a tree. Your network technically is a tree. Every day, you're trying to grow new branches through outreach and make existing ones bushier through referrals. The tree doesn't grow because you collect more contacts. It grows because the connections between contacts get richer. Rick is the living embodiment of principle 1, which again is trust before transaction. His entire philosophy is summed up in 2 words: be real. He said he wouldn't do anything to a professional contact that he wouldn't tell his grandson about. That's the bar, right? My relationship with Rick actually started because he fired me. He didn't want to work with me as a coaching client. He pushed me away and I came back. He told me I wasn't ready to be his coaching client. Most people would have been done. I respected the hell out of it because he was being real. He wasn't protecting my feelings. He was protecting his standards. And I wasn't ready. It was true. He was real, and he was right. That rawness, that truthfulness, that's principle 1 in action. Trust doesn't come from being nice. It comes from being genuine. It comes before any transaction, before any ask, just showing up as a real human being. Rick also said that trust means giving someone the benefit of the doubt. That's what trustbound means to him, or what he understood by the word trustbound. That's the door that a warm intro opens. But he added, don't blow it by being pushy or salesy. Just be real. It's the simplest advice ever, but it's the hardest to follow. Rick then contrasted one-to-many inbound marketing with one-to-one trust-based relationships. And his point was that inbound, as powerful as it is, became like a drug. It attracted volume, but it trained people to forget how to build genuine connections. And go to market today, that word is like a drug. I feel that one-to-one muscle atrophied. And that's principle 5. Remember, this is signal over noise. In a world of volume and automation and one-to-many, The signal is the human being who says, hey, talk to this person. I trust them. Connect with so-and-so. Everything else is noise. Now, principle 6. Remember, this is packs over pipelines. Project 200. Riggs framework. The Pareto principle. 20% of your relationships generate 80% of your opportunities. That's about 40 people. And the system is about staying in touch with them intentionally. Weekly for some, monthly for others, quarterly for the rest. Not to pitch, but rather to keep the relationship warm. And that's packs over principles in system form. You don't grow by targeting strangers at scale. You grow by investing in the 40 people, and rather, that project 200, those 200 relationships, investing in those 200 relationships whose trust radiates outward. They replace themselves annually through the referrals they send you. And even Rick said, man, wouldn't it be amazing for you to replace your 40 every single year? You would never have to work again because referrals would just flow to you and through you. Here's the actionable piece, the actionable advice. And for everybody listening to take into account, pick your 40. When's the last time you reached out to each of them without wanting anything? If you can't remember, that's the gap. If this resonated, pay attention to where trust has already been doing the work for you. That's where momentum starts. Learn more at itoguide.com. See you next time. I'm Mauricio Suarez, and this is the Trustbound Podcast.